So yes, we are friendly, but we are also caliente, okay? And we will put you in your place.
What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Shelly-Ann, and I talk all things career, education, business, and lifestyle. Today's video is sharing a little truths about being a Caribbean woman. Now, I specifically wanted to do this video for my Caribbean women who are taking up space, who are leading from their heart center, who are alpha females, and who are like doing the damn thing. There is a couple of truths about being a Caribbean woman that make this thing of leadership and this thing of going bravely a challenge. So if you're a Caribbean woman, shout out to you, and I hope that you resonate with some of the things that I share. So the first truth that I want to share is that we are very personable as Caribbean women, and I think this stems from our culture of having manners, making sure that we say good morning, good afternoon, making sure that we say yes sir, yes ma'am. It just comes from the way that we were raised, of being very personable and having respect for our elders and for strangers. And that makes us very warm in disposition, very mannerly, and we tend to be very relatable to people. We're able to like crack jokes, we're able to listen intently, and we're also able to use our emotional intelligence to meet people and to connect with people. And I would say that this characteristic of being personable and having a warm disposition is what identifies me as Caribbean. I can't tell you the amount of times that I have been stopped either in London or in the US and people have said, "You're from the Caribbean. I could tell because of your personality." It's like people feel the sunshine when they connect with you. People feel the freedom and the down-to-earth nature of you. And I think that is something that really characterizes Caribbean women. We're extremely personable and we make friends very easily. It could be in the grocery, it could be in the airport, it could literally be waiting on a taxi. We stir up conversation, and it's because we're just very relatable. And the second truth that I want to share about being a Caribbean woman is that we are severely underestimated. And I feel like truth number one, being personable, I think that is the culprit for why we are so underestimated. Because we are personable, because we're so down to earth, because we're so friendly, people literally take our kindness for weakness. They'll overlook us, they underestimate us. They think that, oh, well, you come from a small island, so all you have to offer is pina coladas and fun times. Like, people don't take you seriously. And I have experienced this as a Caribbean woman navigating both the UK as well as the US. A lot of people, when they hear that I'm from the Caribbean, they're so surprised when they hear like my career portfolio. They're so surprised when they hear, my educational pursuits. They're so surprised when they hear that like I own a business or I have a women's community. It's like they think that because you're a Caribbean woman and because you come from a small island, it's like, well, you have small dreams, or like, you just play it simple. And I've seen this time and time again. Because we're often underestimated, we tend to overrepresent ourselves because we are trying to demonstrate that we belong, that we deserve a seat at the table, that we have the credentials and the qualifications for whatever position we've gotten ourselves into, and that we should be taken seriously. It's like, yeah, I am friendly, but please also note that I'm extremely qualified. And I just feel like it comes with the territory of being very personable, but also being misunderstood or underestimated on the other hand. And the third truth that I want to share about being a Caribbean woman is because we're so severely underestimated, we suffer a lot from imposter syndrome. Yes. Now, if you don't know, imposter syndrome is like a feeling of not belonging or a feeling of not being worthy of a position that you hold, either because you feel like you're a fraud or you feel like you got there by luck or by chance and not by merit. And a lot of really talented and powerful women feel this and experience this. It has a lot to do with the way that we were raised. We were raised to not be too loud, to only speak when you are spoken to just be grateful for what it is you have. Like, life is already hard. So, whatever you get, like, be grateful for it. And there's a lot of like settling. So when we get into positions of influence, we tend to doubt whether we are worthy of the position or whether we even belong in the position. And it's because we have not been really trained in our upbringing to welcome leadership. And that really is for my generation as millennials. I mean, things are definitely changing, but generally the culture has been one of just kind of like playing it safe And we really do question a lot of times our competencies and our worthiness, particularly when we hold leadership positions. Because quite frankly, female leadership in the Caribbean is pretty scarce and pretty rare. So when you see a woman taking up space, don't be surprised that she's also wondering if she should have that position, and she might be experiencing imposter syndrome. And the fourth truth that I want to share with you about being a Caribbean woman is that we tend to rub other females the wrong way. And don't get me wrong, I love sisterhood, but this is something that I have noticed. Because Caribbean women are so personable, so warm, and so light-hearted in their disposition, other women don't like how friendly we are. And our friendliness can sometimes be taken as disrespect. It could sometimes be taken as being too pushy. It could sometimes be taken as us being full of ourselves. And I've seen this happen in many multicultural settings where other cultures just don't understand that we are friendly people. It's not that we're brown-nosing. It's not that we're trying to get ahead. It's simply that we're friendly, and because we're friendly, we will connect with people easily. So I would say that as a Caribbean woman, it's very hard to justify yourself and get people to understand where you're coming from, because it's a cultural thing. And speaking to somebody else from a different culture and trying to explain to them that this is your culture and this is how you engage can be really difficult. And I remembered I had to really explain that to people, especially when I was in the UK, because the UK is a place where it's so conservative. Not everyone is as friendly, particularly in the academic setting that I was in for most of my time in the UK. And I felt like a lot of times I had to explain why I am the way I am. And it can be really tiring at times as a Caribbean woman. The fifth truth that I want to share as a Caribbean woman is that we know how to make something out of nothing. Trust me, we are able to create success out of the bare minimum. And I think not just as a Caribbean woman, but Caribbean people in general, we are extremely resourceful. And it's because we come from very humble beginnings. Not all of us, well, most of us are not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. We have to work really hard for the things that we want. We've seen our parents and our grandparents work very hard for the things that they want. And our history is one of fighting for our freedom, fighting for our independence. We come from a history of slavery, as well as a history of triumph and a history of revolution. So when you think about us as Caribbean people, it's we are extremely resourceful of creating a lot of opportunity out of the littlest things. And I love that about being a Caribbean person. It's we always see the bright light in the darkness. And I must say that that trait as a Caribbean woman has helped me so much to really launch myself into entrepreneurship, to try new things, to take chances, to take risks, to do things differently, to not feel like I had to be perfect or I had to have everything perfectly set up to start, because I understood what it means to not have everything perfect and still succeed. And that's the lifestyle that I have been brought up in. I was raised in a single parent home. It was just me and my mom, and I saw my mom work several jobs just to take care of me. I was never without a need or without a want as a child. And it's because my mom was able to take nothing and turn it into something. Y'all, I swore I was living a rich life, even though I wasn't a rich kid. But because I saw the resourcefulness of my mom, it's literally just passed on to me. And if you're a Caribbean person, you know what I'm talking about with this. It's we don't have to be rich, but we are rich in spirit, we are rich in ideas, and we are rich in just going to do the damn thing. So the sixth truth that I want to share with you about being a Caribbean woman is that simplicity is actually really dear to us. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, we like our fancy things. Yes, we like the luxury things and the expensive things, and we like a certain standard of living like everyone does. But we also really appreciate simplicity. And it's because our upbringing and our childhood memories are characterized by simplicity. It takes little to put a smile on our face, and people from the diaspora, or people who have migrated from the Caribbean to, let's say, a developed country, when you get to that developed country, even though you may think that it's greener, when they say life is greener on the other side, life is greener in this developed country, when you get to those cities, you realize how beautiful and how simple Caribbean / island living is. Just being able to like walk to the beach, being able to experience sunshine, being able to stay in nature, being able to pick fruits and eat fruits just from the tree, being able to connect with people and just have conversations randomly and sporadically. That simple way of living and that slow way of living is something that is very dear to us. And I think regardless of how far we go in life or how much success that we have, we are still like very much island girls at heart. We still enjoy the simplicity of things because there's a nostalgia that we experience when we are confronted with simple things and the simplicity of things. It brings us back to our home. It brings us back to the essence of who we are as Caribbean people. And the final truth that I want to share about being a Caribbean woman is that we do not tolerate disrespect. It's a no to the no, 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 no. And I feel like this is a challenge of being a Caribbean woman. It's like on the one hand, you are so warm and like you are so full of light and you're so jovial and so friendly. But at the same time, if somebody crossed the line, you are like a Scotch bonnet pepper and you have no problems with peppering them up and letting them know, don't cross the line and don't disrespect me. It's like such a weird dilemma to be in, but this is literally the nature of us. And it's because we've seen our parents have to like fight for what it is they want and have to stand up for themselves and have to create like really solid boundaries. And even when we were growing up, we dare not backchat to our parents. We dare not disrespect our parents or our elders. Like, no, you would get literally spanking / licks for that. So I think it's instilled in us to really uphold a level of integrity and not allow people to like disrespect us and not allow people to feel like they can just say anything to us. And as a professional woman, that is something that I have not compromised on. When it comes to disrespect, when it comes to like passive aggression, when it comes to microaggressions, I speak on it. And I speak on it because it is so important to set the tone and the manner for how you want to be treated, especially when you have a really warm personality. People can really take advantage of you. And for me, I don't want that to happen. So I always nip that in the bud. So thank you so much for reaching to the end of this video. I hope that this was useful. I hope that you resonated with some of the truths that I shared. If you are a Caribbean woman and you resonated with this, do let me know. It may have a part 2 to this video because, honey, there are so much things to share about just our experience as Caribbean women. I look forward to seeing you in another video. So much love and light to you. And thank you so much for watching. Mwah! Much love.